towns and cities, from Kumasi to Accra, we're in Kumasi here, from our roadside wache joints to our favorite chop bars, and even some homes, the aroma of Ghanaian food fills the air. And that's what we want to talk about today, Ghanaian food. Now, it is rich, inviting, and deeply rooted in culture. But behind that irresistible aroma and taste, it's a quite growing concern that is growing. Now, many of the meals we enjoy today are increasingly loaded with seasoning cubes and monosodium glutamate, something they call the MSGs. Ingredients that, when used excessively, raise serious questions about our long-term health. Now, what makes today's conversation even more important is the fact that Ghana is not lacking in natural healthy alternatives. Our land is blessed, rich in ginger, garlic, precursor, cloves, dawa, and a variety of herbs and spices that, our grandparents relied on, not just for flavor, but for nourishment and healing. These were the ingredients that built strong, generations, natural, wholesome, and proudly Ghanaian. So the question I'm asking myself is simple, but it's very critical. Have we traded our health for convenience and artificial taste? Are we gradually losing our identity in the kitchen, replacing nature's goodness with processed, shortcuts? Let's together explore the health implications of MSGs and seasoning cubes consumption. Now, the economic and, of course, the cultural values of our local spices, and whether it's time for a conscious return to natural Ghanaian cooking. By the way, when you are preparing your meals, I'm speaking to the women here this morning, and even the men who eat the foods, which one do you prefer? The natural seasoning and spices or the processed ones? Which one do you really prefer? Because many people say that when they eat the cubes, the cake cubes and all that, it is nice, it's sweet. And that's what we have unfortunately fed our children, who are now, have become used to them. So again, as a listener this morning, I'm asking our listeners this morning, when you are eating, all right, which one do you prefer? The cube, the MSGs, or you prefer the natural ones, the precursors, the garlics, the ginger? And unfortunately, lately, ginger is very expensive. Leo, do you remember the times where, when it comes to sweets, we had the alewa, and they're black and white. Yeah. Alewa, when you ate it, your tongue become red. Yeah. Then we had the nkati cake. Yeah. The nkati cake, I'm talking about the one that had, you could see the granite.
The big round ones. Yeah, round. We had that one and the one that they grind the granite.
I'm talking about the big ones.
The big ones.
Kind of sugar. Yeah. It was nice.
I prefer that one.
Prefer that one?
Yeah.
When was the last time you ate some?
I don't remember.
And then they had Kobe cake.
Yeah.
It was like thorny kind of.
Yeah.
Grated coconut thorny.
Yeah.
Mine is a ball.
Yeah. Yeah, that one too was very nice. Yeah. It has a milky flavor.
Yeah.
Coupled with the sugar and everything. It was nice. Hey, DB.
Now
that you've mentioned it, I really want to have some now. Yeah.
And then we had the all farms, the what do you call that one? The potom.
Yeah.
The one that they use palm nut soup to do. I prepare some.
Yeah.
We don't eat these things
now. Now every sweet that I see on the market is imported from somewhere, and it's in wrappers.
We don't know what they have used in the ingredients, and so we're having young children even having diabetes and hypertension and stroke. Adults are suffering same. So this morning we're fortunate to have with us, Mrs. Ifwa Osu Ansa. She's a principal dietitian at CATH, and she's the CEO of Enjoy Your Health Consult, and is it Melgoshin Foods?
Yeah.
Now, if you just Google Melgoshin Foods, you see the kind of foods that she has on display and she serves at her place. I'm thinking of asking two of our listeners to go there for lunch. I think it's possible. we work something out so that they can go to your place for lunch. Ifwa, good morning.
Good morning.
Trust you well.
By God's grace.
You're a dietitian.
Yes.
What's your role when it comes to being a dietitian? What do you really do?
Okay, so I'm mainly at CATH, Confanoche, and our main responsibility is to assess, formulate, and plan a diet for both patients who are walking in, as well as those who have been admitted there. So it's cut across all disease, even those who don't necessarily have any disease but have to undergo some surgery. We still have our input.
So let's say if people come to Confanoche and they are battling some kind of disease conditions, they have health concerns, you can give them food. that will help them stay healthier and get better?
Not necessarily the food. We do the planning for you to go and do it.
Okay.
But we don't also just treat the disease or manage the disease state, even those who want to prevent the disease.
Okay.
So you don't need a referral before you come. You can just walk in because you think that maybe genetically you are predisposed to something and you want to prevent.
And like the saying goes, you are what you eat.
Yes.
What you eat is what you are.
Yeah.
So over the years, how has the Ghanaian diet, evolved from traditional meals to more processed and fast foods like we have lately? I mean, the Indomies, the fried rice, these are all processed foods. Tell us about how we have evolved.
It's sad, but we learn from everywhere globally, but instead of us keeping the best culture in terms of our food, we are trying to change ours to pick the Western ones that they are trying to stop. The last time I met with a particular school and I showed pictures of poor people's food, and they were shocked because the poor people's food are the elite food we eat here, the pizzas and the fries. But if you are to look at health-wise, if I'm looking for nutrient-dense, less fat, less salt foods, they are traditional meals, and they are the rich foods. When you go to America or when we watch movies and you see rich people eating, you look on their plate and it's just greens and a bit of carbohydrates. And if you look at the poor people's own too, it's like a heap of plates, and it's all about the yes
more carbohydrates in there.
So sadly, we are replacing the best that we have with and it's sad because we are training the young ones to pick up a habit that it will be difficult to change the trajectory of what is going to come. Last week, I had a very sad consult, a 16-year-old with hypertension. 16-year-old. She has started recording BP of 152/82. And her height is not more than, she's just 1 centimeter above mine, and my weight threshold shouldn't be above 65. She is 92.
If I tell us, I mean, to what extent has convenience and busy, urban lifestyles contributed to the shift away from traditional Ghanaian foods? Because oftentimes what you hear people say is, Charlie, busy. I go to work early, come back home late. So, to what extent has convenience and busy urban lifestyles contributed to this?
It's really contributed a lot, and I see it as our priority. What is important to you? Because it's what is important to you that you make time to make sure that you've done it right. So if I feel family is important, I go to work, I make sure I maximize my time at work. When I leave work, I spend my time with my family, no matter how busy my work is. If I see that food is very important to me and my family, I spend my time, I spend my money, make sure I get the best ingredient, I make the best preparation, so that even if with my little time, I'll be able to get the best out of my food. So I see it that is our priorities that have changed, and is something that if you are listening to us now, it will be best, because whatever time you think you are missing out when cooking right and eating right, you spend it in the hospital.
Okay. And of course, when you're spending it in the hospital, the time that you claim not to have, you would have that time to be at the hospital.
And the hospital one is not tasty.
It's not.
and so you say you don't have time to, go to the market, get the right stuff. So you're feeding your children with the pizzas, the fried rice, and all those junk food. But when your child is sick, when you are sick, that time you didn't have, you make that time to spend at the hospital, spending money there as well. But I mentioned the urban lifestyle. Is it to suggest that it's better in the rural areas? Are they eating like, our grandparents did, or are they also copying what's being done in the capital?
Yes, are also changing. You get someone coming from the village, and when you take the diet history, you realize that even fruit They have a lot of fruits there, but they will harvest and bring to sell in the urban areas, and they will have almost nothing. And they feel that eating fruits is fruits. So if you have real food, there's no need for fruits. So I think that one too is changing gradually. It's not as we used to have it, but yes, it's better so far than
yes, it's better so far. And listeners, in case you just joined us, as part of our Ghana Month conversations, we want you to eat healthy. We want you to eat right. Now, we're talking about the MSGs and the cubes, the Maggies in our food. Listen, there's somebody I know. If the person wants to just do gizzard kebab, washes the gizzards, is about to cook the gizzards, the person can put in her palm 10 or more cubes and then mash them in onto the gizzards. Take salt, add it to the gizzard, and then other spices. So you realize that it is all MSG and cube and salt. So when you're chewing it, your taste bud tells you it is nice, but your body at the later time will tell you that it's not nice. Now, are we aware, if we're as Ghanaians, about what goes into these seasoning cubes and these MSGs and its potential health effects? Are we aware of these things? That the cube that we are consuming, because somebody's preparing stew or soup, a cube of gumsa, MSG is a gumsa, especially when you're even buy from outside. It's crazier. Are we aware of the potential, health effects or hazards?
Okay, so for the MSG, which is monosodium glutamate, the glutamate itself is a naturally occurring protein. So it's in our meat. That's what gives us the umami feel.
The what feel?
Umami.
Umami, okay.
Yes, so we have sweet, sour, bitterness, then we have the umami feel.
I know sweet, I know sour, I know bitter. I never know umami. I've learned a new word today, umami.
There is also some, that umami taste to it, even in tomatoes. So you have that, it tastes meaty, I can't really tell, but it's that
the umami flavor.
Yeah. So that's in terms of research, there's a lot of controversy in relation to MSG. Some say that it's most of the studies that have been done are more in animal studies, and the dosage they gave isn't the dosage that we use as human beings. So the impact or the effect that they are seeing in the animals are not the same as seen in human beings. But what we are saying is, clinically, when you taste anything with the MSG, what happens is there is a receptor in our brain called ghrelin. And it's when anything with MSG just distort it, the ghrelin helps us to say that I am full, it's okay. But so far as there's MSG in it, you still go on. You don't feel that I have to continue. Then there are issues with the microbiome of the gut. But all these things have not really been instituted like this is truly like how we know of Mediterranean diet and all those other diets. So what we say is the exposure to it in the long term is what might cause the problem.
When you say long term, what's the duration? What's the long term?
We don't know yet. It can be decades.
But Doc, some of us, we do have conditions that prevents us from eating a lot of these things. When you eat them, surely you see the differences in your system.
There's a big difference. If I eat anything with it,
So, for example, if you're hypertensive, and you eat some of these processed foods,
like you pee a lot and all of that, so you see the immediate. So how come you say there's not a concrete?
It's not me.
I'm not just saying it's but I mean.
But for me, we can have individual experiences with it. But scientifically, that might not be the general rule of thumb for everyone. For me, if I eat anything with MSG, my heart starts palpitating. So it's an immediate effect, and because of that, in the house, nothing. So what we normally encourage people is to reduce your exposure to it as much as possible what you cook in the house, which you are going to eat most of, shouldn't be with it.
Okay.
So that once in a while, if you feel for wache or you are going out as a family, that exposure wouldn't be that much. But my main meal that I'm eating, maybe 80% of my meal from the ones I've cooked in the house, then that impact will not be there.
Okay.
Because I'll be a hypocrite if I'll say that I've never or I am not exposed to it. But what we are also encouraging those cooking outside is that they must work towards reducing this amount, because as you just said, just cooking some small gizzard and 10 cubes, which is crazy.
But then again, you know, and listen, if you have any health condition, as you listen to us, Leo has brought something to mind. If you have any health condition and you want advice, an expert professional advice as to what to eat and what to avoid in terms of eating, she's here for you. She's going to help you. All right.
Look, we are a list, mommy.
She's here for you. But again, our major conversation this morning is why, as a people, we're doing away with traditional, seasoning, or doing away with these, what do you call it, ingredients in our food, herbs that gives us good health, and we're going for the MSGs and the cubes. And I'm asking you, as you listen to us, which one do you prefer, the traditional ones or the processed ones like right now? And Doc, you know, in the olden days, almost all the meals we ate had flavor, but had medicinal touch to it as well. So just picture that you want to eat something like kelewele. There's ginger. There's what do you call that?
Wintia.
So
Wintia,
there's
yes.
wintia. There's pepper. There's
Cloves.
There are so many things that gives it a flavor, but it's also medicinal. You want to eat kakro, the same thing. If you're preparing aboboy, the big beans, you put ginger in there and other things. So even if you are doing a benkwai, you have the precurses and the other ingredients in there. But now people are preparing the same benkwai now, and there's more MSG and more what do you call it, cubes. What has caused the change? I mean, why are people preferring this? Is it because one is easier to get or it's expensive than the other? What do you think the problem really is?
I don't think it's one which is easier to, because I know there are some brands that have made even local spices very easy to get. It's made in powder form. So it's not now that you are going to scrape your ginger and cut, or it's in powder form. But I know others too who have also committed to doing their own spices at home.
Yeah.
So it's readily available. The one in made moist, they blend it and freeze it in cubes. So it's readily available. But the human attitude and character is, so I am diagnosed of a condition, I can't see the essence to touch my meal. Most people cannot really understand why they should do some things unless they are diagnosed with maybe hypertension, they have cancer. Then if you are to blend bitter leaf for them, then they will even drink. But in the absence of this diagnosis, you'll be termed as maybe you don't even know what you're about. What I'm doing a series with another organization about teas, and I'm intentionally using the spices and the herbs that we have in the house. Yesterday I dealt with lemongrass. It's readily available.
I remember, forgive me for cutting in, I remember when I was younger, my mom, even when she prepares the normal tea at home, when she's boiling the tea or she's preparing the tea, she will add the lemon grass as well. The flavor was beautiful.
Yes.
I don't remember the last time, and it's not just the flavor, it is medicinal.
Very.
It's medicinal. I remember again, I don't take chicken. It's not like I don't know why I don't like chicken. But again, I remember years ago, they will use the akoko mesa.
Yeah.
And the flavor of the akoko mesa on the chicken alone will make you love it. It's akoko enyai. But akoko mesa ni kakadro ne garlic be wana. Ni nyai ina ko.
Yeah.
These days we're not eating these things. We think that a Crasidian news. I don't. So how do modern foods like fried rice and the instant noodles compare nutritionally with traditional meals like our contours, our garden egg stew, the boiled yam, the dry fish, the dry meat? Listen, before I never tried dried meat before.
Yeah.
And some time ago I ate, almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
There's this wooden charcoal
Yes.
aroma.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you were when I say, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yesterday,
it's-
the catfish. And you ran a more pan and easy.
So with these spices, today I did clove tea.
Okay.
For the lemongrass tea, you realize that it's pregnant with a lot of antioxidants. It has antimicrobial effect. The cloves, it has antiviral, antimicrobial. It helps with lowering blood sugar. So even if I'm preparing the chicken that you just mentioned or live soup, and I'm adding just 2 pieces of clove, it's so potent. So just 2, because if I'm giving you tea, I just need 3. It's enough. If I use more, then that original active flavor, active
will
ingredient
overpower
in it will be more.
Yeah.
So these ones are so potent that if we are to get the benefits that they have, I don't think you look elsewhere.
And we are blessed with all these things, yet we're not making use of them. Elsewhere, they are asking us to cultivate it, and we export the gingers and the others to them. I never knew that I could cook rice with bay leaves. I never knew.
And
Until
rosemary.
who taught you?
You didn't teach me that. I saw it on TikTok. I saw it on TikTok.
And then you asked me.
But I wanted confirmation. So I was like, actually, I saw on TikTok that you can use bay leaf in cooking rice. We say perfume rice. Listen, forget about perfume rice. Use bay leaf in cooking your rice. Add some bit of onions in there.
And rosemary.
I never knew about the rosemary.
Yeah, I use rosemary sometimes
about the
too.
rosemary.
Yeah.
So, and these, like I said, they're not just giving you flavor, but they're also giving you healing
Yes.
Yeah.
and preventing sicknesses and diseases. So, once you're here this morning, I would like us to do an exercise. In this day and age, a lot of people want to take beverage in the morning. And in taking a beverage in the morning, we want to take some beverages that have also become processed. Some of them don't even have the cocoa in there. There are some chemicals that have been mixed to give you a chocolate or cocoa feel.
One concentrate.
But we know, sir, if you're talking about drinking some beverage in the morning, it should be natural and it should be pure. So for breakfast in a normal home, what would you advise we do? For those who want to take beverages, should we be going for these chemicalized brands that taste like chocolate or cocoa in there? Or there's something that we can do at home in terms of beverages in the morning that would help. What advice or suggestions do you have?
For the beverages, specifically tea and the cocoa drinks, to get the benefit out of them, is best that you drink it even without sugar and milk.
Oh, okay.
Because
Obi to us is no pay. What say? Oh, chocolate drink. But if you chocolate baby, I said the milk is good.
Yeah.
No, the pan was a bomb. No. Or the pan on a tea.
Dipping the bread in the tin.
I mean, but the thing is that
it's if you I'm drinking cocoa, I want to get all the polyphenols and the flavonoids that are to reduce my blood pressure, to help with my heart. If you really want to get those benefits, it's best you don't add these two.
the milk and the sugar.
The milk and the sugar,
Okay.
because they bind to the active ingredient and prevent the absorption.
Okay.
Okay, but
Let Helen.
Okay.
So it's best that I don't even use it as like your breakfast.
Okay.
Maybe early in the morning you wake up, you do a mug, you drink.
Okay.
And later, if you want to add some vegetables and some protein, you take that.
okay.
But not with it, not
Okay.
even with bread. I know some people who do it pure like that without sugar and milk, but they will add bread
Oh,
to it.
it's not about bread. They fry egg and then toss some onions and tomatoes and maybe some green pepper into some small oil. That's it with some small salt, and then they munch it.
Yeah.
And you say it's not the best.
It's not the best. All the teas.
So what you're saying that all the tea should be taken on without any additional stuff.
No.
Okay, but you said you can take it as like
A morning mug. Yeah.
which I usually do. Sometimes even cinnamon stick, I just toss one in. And but I have also realized that after I drink it raw like that, sometimes if you add milk, it tastes like Vita milk.
No worries. I mean, on camera,
I'm saying, like, if you do that mixture,
Yeah.
it tastes like that.
So now you are going in for the taste, not for the medicinal properties.
So I'm saying, could you balance the two sometimes? I mean, regularly, you can do the hot water and the cloves and whatever.
Yeah.
But I told the boy one episode where enhancing, can you do that?
I believe in whatever you are doing, that it should impact on your quality of life. So if I'm drinking it most of the time for the medicinal property, and once in a while I add the sugar in the milk, that one I'm not aiming at getting any benefit in terms of it opening my vessels or anything. I just want that enjoyment of taste. That you are allowed.
I'm wondering how many homes now, if you say you're giving a child even some chocolate drink without milk and sugar. Say, oh, coffee, go school, am I a chocolate drink now? Sugar and milk in him. The tantrums that will happen in our house.
And they'll fast.
So when you take it like that, what does it do for the human body? Like your veins and
for the cocoa, a lot of benefits. We call most medications that people who have hypertension are on have some diuretic property. That it helps you to go to the washroom a lot, urinate a lot.
Okay.
And that impact is in cocoa as well. It has a chemical like that.
Okay.
So it helps you to urinate. That means you eliminate any excess fluid in your system. It also has vasodilators. So your vessel that is constricted, it helps to open up for the free flow of the blood.
And that prevents or helps you in fighting strokes.
Yes, yes.
Which is the
yes,
cloves.
yes.
Yeah.
No, the cocoa.
The cocoa.
Yes.
It even helps the heart.
Yes, it does. And a recent study even shows that it has some protective ingredient against malaria.
Okay.
So it affects your immune system, and because it opens up the vessel, even if you have headache and you drink it, the free flow of blood will help to refresh all the
And we are talking about the raw powder, not
the enriched one.
Okay.
So and people say it's bitter.
Because they call it bitter cocoa.
No, but it's bitter actually.
Somehow. But
Unlike the other process when you open to a satism,
Yes.
You know,
this one you can't.
I have this story. You know, there's this cocoa powder
Yeah.
that has the sugar.
The one that, yeah.
And when the raw powder came,
Yeah.
I think they brought some home. So change the processed
yes.
ones. And I thought a bad day.
And I said, so that's what I'm talking about. So that's so what we're saying to you is this: we're not saying that don't go for the processed ones and all that, but do natural stuff. Natural is always good. God is a natural being. God has given us natural stuff. So take the natural cocoa powders and you'll be good. Now instead of taking other teas, and there are several tea brands on the market. Now some of these tea brands of the market have also had their own additives in there and all. What can we be taking as alternatives or substitutes? So I like the lemongrass, for example. And the lemongrass, the aroma is so nice.
And you can't replicate it anywhere.
The
It's
lemongrass.
natural.
I don't know how many of our children of today know lemongrass. It even fights malaria or fever.
Yeah.
So aside from the lemongrass, aside from the cloves, what else can we do?
Fricassee.
Okay.
Fricassee is so flavorful. You can also do turmeric.
Okay.
Which is anti-inflammatory, and cloves and all the others are all anti-inflammatory as well. You can also do, I know some people who do guava leaves.
Okay.
And you can have lemon or tangerine leaves, avocado leaves. And those are very potent. So it's not like the dudo that we were doing in a big pot. Just a little, maybe one leaf.
Like a leaf or two in hot water.
And you just sip it in hot water for about 3 to 5 minutes and you are done.
Good.
Don't oversip
even
it.
Soursop leaves.
Yes.
So
yes.
I didn't know about soursop leaves till I'll go to green. That's soursop. Till late. And I'm told that for people who have prostate cancer, for example, this to green leaves, when you cook it and you drink it, challenge, you're good to go.
Yeah.
So that's for the beverages in the morning. Unfortunately for us, these days in the afternoon, it's all about noodles, and I'm talking about processed noodles. We don't even know what they use to do that.
Takeaways, check,
Then
and all
we're
those
doing
things.
the fried rices, the French fries, and people are doing French fries, they're doing eggs fried and ketchup
And
and
they
mayonnaise.
coated-
Loaded fries. and cheese.
These are all harmful to our bodies. And that's why I began by asking that where is our off farms and the other things that we used to enjoy? You are a dietitian. Afternoon, evening meals, what should we be taking?
Okay, thank you. Before we go to the afternoon, I know we can have some listeners hearing all the teas that we've mentioned. They will just get one. This is what I have. Then they will always be taking it. There is always a negative with everything, even the natural foods. For lemongrass, for instance, if you consistently take it, it has effect on the capacity of your kidney. It reduces the EGFR, that's the estimated glomerular filtration rate.
Okay,
the capacity of the kidney. So, but as assuming you are varying your teas, we've mentioned cloves. We've mentioned precursor, we've mentioned turmeric, we've mentioned all the leaves that you alternate them, because what is bad in one will be what is good in the other. So don't just get stuck to one and think that that's the panacea for all the conditions. Is it also okay to combine them?
So I'm doing some cloves, I'm doing some ginger, I'm adding some lemongrass, I'm doing some turmeric in there. Can I do a combination?
So you have to do it like how we introduce new food to kids. So I try clove, I'm okay with it, I'm not reacting. Then maybe I add turmeric. If I react, then that means those two do not go together. So you can do combinations so you know that I can combine these three without having any reaction. So you can also do that.
And before you even answer my question about the lunch and the supper or dinner, some of the things that we have that we're downplaying. People spend so much money in buying creams to smear on their faces and on their bodies because they want to maintain their skin texture or color or even want to become fair. Clove water, if you use clove water constantly on your face, your friend is saying cotton wool, and then use clove water to wipe your face. Unya pimple, unya dark spots. But yet people are spending so much money on buying creams that doesn't even work. Let's talk about lunch and supper. Are we supposed to do the fried rice and the noodles and the pizzas? Or we should. This is the Ghana month.
Yes.
Tell us about locally prepared Ghanaian food that is full of the right nutrients that will help us grow well and enjoy good health.
I would say the Ghanaian typical indigenous foods are the living foods.
They are the living foods.
The living
and the other ones are the what foods?
Dead foods.
The dead foods.
They are dead before we put in. Okay. So these are living because one, we are able to source them fresh. It has not gone through many hands. It has not undergone a lot of processes. And you are able to harness most of the benefits from it. Typically, most of our traditional meals are superb in terms of nutrient density, variety, and even taste and flavor. When someone comes to me for weight reduction, I tell them the best weight reduction meal is ampesi and abom.
Any of the ampesis?
Any of them. All the ampesis. Okay. Because it gives you the opportunity to eat a lot of the vegetable part of the meal. So if I'm eating ampesi, I can take 2 small fingers of apim with my beans mixed with the abom and my egg in addition. I can eat a bowl full of abom with my egg as a whole meal. So these ones, and knowing what contomere is giving me, vitamin A, vitamin C, with all these nutrients, in addition to the fiber that is filling me and preventing colorectal cancer that we know is now booming.
What cancer again?
Colorectal cancer. Okay. It's where the fecal matter converge before it comes. Yes. Because most of us are constipating, most of us are not even doing any routine check to find out if there are any polyps around. So, and when you come to TZ, for instance, it's a nice meal, but the MSG that we are talking about.
So for me, TZ is something that you should just have dawa in there.
It's perfect.
And you are good to go. You remember 2-3 years ago, somebody called and said, the landlord or lady said, why are you preparing meals with dawa? Now, I'm a few bon.
But they will prefer going to the restaurants to go and buy. And when you go out and you buy it, it's so much with MSG. But it's a traditional meal that, if you are doing it right, helps a lot. When we look at the Fanti line, Fanti with Etel.
Oh, can you do? And when it comes to Fanti, it's palm oil.
Yes.
It is palm oil.
Tomatoes,
it is
fresh
peppers.
it is fresh fish.
Yes.
You understand? Fresh fish.
Hey,
Please go.
Fresh fish. And this Fanti, after they are done, they cut fresh onion for it to be crispy on the stew. So these are meals that, if we are to include in our meal plan or our menu for the day or for our lives, help a lot. And the typical Ghanaian meal, Dave, it's filled with a lot of carbohydrates. So if we are saying that we are going back to what we were brought up with, what we are saying is we are making it better. Last time I chanced on someone doing eba, gari, and the person said the children love eba so much. So what she was doing was she will steam carrots, blend it, use the blended carrot to do the eba.
Okay, to mix with the gari.
Mix with the gari.
Okay.
So the color itself and the fiber in it and the taste is different.
Okay.
So what we are talking about this Ghana month is our local foods. How can we, the ones that we think are not healthy, how can we make it better?
Okay.
And in terms of better, increasing the fiber content, increasing the nutrient density of it, and increasing how bioavailable it will be. Because there are some foods that might have iron, but in the absence of vitamin C, it will prevent the absorption of the iron because it's plant-based. So these are the things that we are talking about. But our Ghanaian indigenous meals are the best for any health condition.
Do you eat the fried rice and the noodles and stuff in your home?
I've never cooked noodles in my home.
Never?
Never.
What about fried rice?
Fried rice, I do my own.
You do your own, so you manage what you put in there?
Yes, but once in a while, as family outing, we have some, but you come and the entire family is just one plate and we are all fetching small, adding other things to it.
Okay. Now, when it comes to the meats and the fish and all that, what I love, and right now mushrooms are in season, I prefer now the dry meats to the fresh meats. I like fresh fish, yes, but I would also prefer the dry fish to the fried fish. Tell us about some of these, right now when they're doing, almost I say, number now, you also protein also. So tell us about the proteins.
Okay, the protein, we have two types, the animal-based and the plant-based. And for any disease prevention, it's best to go more on the plant side or balance it 50-50. Plant side, that's where we have the granules, we have the rare, we have the cashew, those who have money, pistachios and the pecans and all those ones. Then we have the nuts. Then we have the beans. We have our own different variety of beans. And in addition to that, we have the chickpeas, which are all in the markets, depending on your pockets. You know which brand to get. Then we also have the eggs. Eggs are healthy. It's for both kids and adults, even old people. It contains in very good fat as well as bad ones. At first, we thought that the amount of cholesterol in egg is enough to destroy our cholesterol status, but we know that because of the presence of lecithin, we are not able to absorb all the amounts therein. So as an individual without any who is not on any chronic condition medication, they can take about 3 eggs in a week. So eggs are allowed.
3 in a week?
Yes, please. But someone preventing conditions, that one 2 eggs a day, it doesn't matter. Then the fishes, you mentioned about the dry ones. The best things about fish is the omega-3 fatty acids. And they come with the less processed fish, like less fried, more of soft fish. So that means if you go for dry fish, you are missing out on most of that type of oil, the omega-3 fatty acids. So it's about the variety and just changing things, and it comes with the menu or the food that you are eating. So fish like the catfish that you mentioned, the red fish, the mackerel, which in Kumasi we call salmon, the tunas. Then we come to the dry fish. For an adult, I will prefer you eat more of the soft fishes than the dry ones, because the drier it is, the more protein it is you'll find in it, and that is more for kids than for adults.
When you say adults, give me a bracket.
Most conditions start from the age range of 35 onwards.
So 35 is adult?
Yes.
So 35 and above?
Yes.
Okay.
So we should be eating more fresh fish than the dry
fresh
ones.
or softly smoked
But our fish
ones.
is on our market. I know a place around 100 where you can get fresh from the sea fish. It is fresh from the sea. But most of the ones from the coast source, are they really fresh fishes? Even on the sea,
But
the cold,
that's the one that they also dry for you.
Exactly.
Exactly. So wherever, if you'll be able to get the ones from the seaside or someone selling it, then it's the best. But assuming I fry some and do my tomato stew with it, next time I do the fancy. So I'm balancing what I didn't get from the fried ones. I'll get from.
I remember when I was growing up, my mom, when she was even preparing palm nut soup, aside from a lot of ginger and prekese, she would use the red beans in cooking the abenkwan. So once you're eating maybe your banku or your fufu
even
with
without
the soup,
fish,
there is a protein in terms of the beans in it. It was beautiful. I loved it. I miss it. Now, you have a question before I go on?
It's an observation that I've made. I want to see if the doctor can help me understand it. So anytime I'm cooking with fresh fish in the soup or in the sauce, I realize that when it boils, it gets to a point and all of a sudden some milky substance just oozes out. What is happening here?
Is that the juices? It's just the juices.
But it has to reach a certain point before
temperature, and it coagulates. So the protein and everything, the higher the temperature, then it starts coagulating. So you realize that fluid will start curdling.
Yeah, it just oozes out of the fish one time like that.
It's just because it's obeying the temperature that you are giving it.
Okay. Now let's talk about people who have some disease conditions. If somebody is suffering from diabetes, hypertension, somebody is obese, what foods would you recommend? If somebody is 55, 60, 65, what foods would you recommend?
Okay. Before I go there, Dave, you mentioned about lunch and dinner. Most of us, our timing of meals are not right.
Sure, I agree.
They will come back home, mendidi will fear many asem. So even if it is 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, they are eating omutuo, they are eating fufu, or a lot of ampesi.
The same
you are going to sleep. So we always tell people, I would prefer you eating your fufu in the morning if you can tolerate it. You eating something and in the evening, you ease out by eating in terms of quantity and in terms of the the oil content of the food. So if I know I'm going to sleep in the next 3-4 hours, that means abenkwan is not a soup for me for supper. Katenkwan is not good for me for supper. Red soup is not good for me for supper. That can be breakfast or lunch. So we always recommend that as an adult, we sleep before 11 p.m. If you are going to sleep before 11 p.m., that means around 7, your meal should be done. So you can't tell me that around 9, I'm eating salad. Salad, you're healthy, so it's okay.
That's the mindset I have. Is it wrong?
It's wrong. The food is good, but the timing is wrong.
Oh, is that so? So
sometimes that was one of the fights I was having with my husband. I'll prefer you eating in the outside at the right time than coming late to eat something healthy.
And of course, even with the salads, someone says, I have the lettuce, I have the carrots, I have the greens and whatever. Then we top it up all with ketchup and mayonnaise,
cream,
and what? Well, it's for another day.
Yeah.
So, thanks for that education. But let's talk again about,
the
People are
disease state.
aging,
Yeah.
the disease states, and the foods that we should be eating.
Okay, so whether hypertensive or diabetic or you have stroke, there are some major food groups or items that we have to watch out for. If you are eating and the amount of salt is a lot, and how will you know whether it is a lot? As an adult, our recommended salt intake is a teaspoon a day.
Whoa. Okay.
5 grams of salt a day.
Okay.
From morning to evening.
Okay.
And remember that if you are preparing a boom and you are adding some opamo money or a little kobe,
Yeah.
there is already salt in it.
Right.
If you are adding any smoked fish and even the tuna that they say is unsalted, there is a little salt in it. Jawariye,
The beef,
the beef and all those things, they are already salted. So if we are to even take those ones out, you still have just 1 teaspoon. If we are to add them, then you've even gone above your 1 teaspoon. Where do you remember that if we are preparing bread is done with salt. So we encourage that as much as possible, take salt out from the foods that are tolerable to eat without salt. One is your porridges. We can eat porridge. If I prepare oats, for instance, for you without salt, it will not be difficult for you to eat oats without salt.
It depends what I'm adding to the oats. If it's some biscuits.
No, I'm doing some vegetables with some flaked tuna or something on it. Or
Yeah, what's my appetite this morning?
So as I add these things without salt in your oat, that should be okay. We also encourage them that I'm preparing ampesi and abom for you to be able to have the flavor in the abom. I might encourage maybe a little piece of the opamo money or the kobe
or the kako or something.
not kako.
There's this one I don't know. I don't like to hear its name or even see it itself. It's like salted. It's like kobe. They replace it with kobe sometimes.
The cube, there's like in a cube form.
They have a name for it. Tree name.
Kako na okay.
It's not.
They replace it with kobe. It's also fish salted.
It's not momone.
No, it's not momone. Oh, it's like Kobe, like it's big as Kobe. It will come to me, but it's salted, and it has this funny Kobe smell.
Yeah.
You know, then it will come to me. But let's go on.
So I can encourage, like I can allow a piece of that, but not the traditional
super
one.
Cool.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
That crazy one, super cool. Now, what is super about this cool?
So not allowing you to boil or fry some and put it on the abom. But what we will do is we will take salt from the ampesi.
Okay.
So you add the ampesi to the album and things will balance out. You are preparing rice. You can take rice without salt.
I never cook my rice with salt.
So your stew or your soup can be with a little salt. And the other thing too is there shouldn't be any table salt on the dining table.
So you support KMA's ban?
It is perfect. Because if I'm eating right now and I dip my hand or shake the salt, that 1 teaspoon of salt a day, you might get to about 2/3 of it in one meal. And as you are eating it now, it might not dilute in time for you to really get the taste. By the time you get to the down part,
that's where it is.
That's where you get a lot of salt. So table on the salt on the table on the table is
Listen, we're running out of time, but if need be, we'll do a part 2. Unfortunately, WhatsApp is not working. Forgive us, our WhatsApp is not working. Next time we'll be looking at people who say I'm a vegetarian, I'm whatever vegetarian. We'll talk about those times, those ones, in the coming days, because we need to stay healthy. I have a message that says hibiscus tea, green tea, etc., etc. I did not hear you talk about them, and is cocoa healthier than green tea? So tell us about hibiscus. That is the sobolo.
The sobolo.
The sobolo.
Sodium monoxide.
So instead of giving your child some caffeinated drink to take to school, sobolo, cook it and give to your child. It's healthier. No, the ginger cacrebia one. Oh, not I'm on the flavor. We don't do these things. But cocoa, is it healthier than green tea?
It's like we here asking whether Dave is better than any of the people here. We all have our positives and our negatives. So green tea, what forms a green tea? If I put soap, the soursop leaf in hot water, it's green tea.
Okay.
But what we know scientifically about green tea is able to reduce blood cholesterol by almost 16%.
Okay.
Hibiscus tea, I'm not able to take Sobolo outside because as soon as wherever, I don't even do it much in the house because my BP is normal. Anytime I take Sobolo, I start feeling dizzy.
Okay.
Because it drops my BP so low.
Okay.
And that shows the impact. If you have hypertension and you are drinking it, it's super good.
It's super good. So all those people who are battling hypertension, super good for you.
So, and as I said earlier, there is always a negative with anything.
Okay.
So try to vary your options as much as possible to reduce the anti-nutritional properties with them.
We don't have too much time. I will try and pick a few calls if possible. Once again, apologies to you for those of you who often will send us WhatsApp messages. Our WhatsApp is down. But you can call us on 03220 83596, 03220 83597, and 03220 83598. If there's any question about your health and what you should be eating and the foods that you're eating, as anything at all, you're very much welcome to join our conversation. Leo.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Please, your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Atu Akins, and I'm calling from Kumasi.
Okay, Atu, let's hear you.
The show you are doing today, and it's really informative.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to add something little that there's a difference between the lemongrass and citronella, right? So there are two different grasses, and one of them is an insect repellent. So sometimes people mix the two, right? So maybe Doc can clarify that for people who want to use the lemongrass so that they don't mix the two. But it's a fantastic show.
Is one of them poisonous for consumption?
Yes. So one of them is actually a mosquito repellent. So that is the citronella. But they look very much the same. They smell almost the same. And the only difference is that with the citronella, the stem is a bit reddish, but with the citronella, it's green. Sorry, with the lemongrass, it's green. So the lemongrass is kind of the one that we normally use for the tea, and the one with the reddish stem is the
mosquito repellent.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much, Akins. Is anybody on the line? All right, so look, citronella and lemongrass. I've never heard about this before.
So they all grow the same way as is described. They are atapeni and atakakra. I don't know which one came first, but there are some that are when you plant, no insects will be able to come near your wherever it's planted. So if it's lemongrass, the one for tea, it's more greenish throughout with the stem compared to the other.
Are there any of these natural spices or herbs that should not come together that we should know of?
And whilst the question has been asked, our phone lines are still activated. If there's any contribution you want to make, if there's any question you want an answer to, 03220 83596,
okay, so
03220 83597, and 03220 83598. You can call us and get some answers.
Good morning.
Yeah, morning.
Your name and where you're calling from?
Abuakwa, Kofi Mensah.
Kofi Mensah from Abuakwa. Let's hear you, sir.
Yes. Yeah, a very good morning session. I loved the woman. And these are the things we are talking about. We should be talking about this very often, very, very often, because how we eat is leading to a lot of diseases in us and the way we eat them. So it's very good. But I want to quickly ask this question. How many eggs can a normal person take in a day? Thank you.
All right, so how many eggs can a normal person take in a day? And I don't know whether it's boiled egg, scrambled egg, fried egg,
poached egg, sunny side up.
But the phone lines are still activated. You can join us with any question or contribution. 03220 83596, 03220 83597, and 03220 83598. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I know a lot of people do egg abum or ampesi. So, but there is always a downside to it, especially those who go to the gym. Some take 6 eggs after the gym, and you get some coming with kidney issues and with their cholesterol going up.
Because you took eggs.
Too much protein.
Oh, okay. Well, I know people who also do in terms of the beans protein plus eggs in there and other things.
Hey.
It's a lot of they think it helps to rebuild the worn out tissues for them to get the bulk. But there is always a downside. So for an adult who has no condition, the recommendation is maximum 2 eggs a day, so that you have the opportunity to use other types of protein instead of just getting all your protein.
When you talk about the 2 a day, is it about
more boiled? More boiled, and the type of cooking also has impact on the food. We have fat soluble vitamins with every food. So the ones with egg, although egg from the yolk has its own fat, if you are to fry with very little oil, deep fried, so you'll be able to harness more of the fat soluble vitamins. The days that you boil, then the other things you add to the meal will help.
Good morning. Your name and where you calling from, please?
Good morning.
David. Yeah, your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, I'm Ishak, MC for the choir.
All right, Ishak, let's hear you, sir.
I want to find out if your cholesterol levels are high. What do you do? What do you do to bring it down?
Question again, please. Did you get it? All right,
If
fine.
your cholesterol levels are down, if you go, you do the labs, your lipids, and you realize that your cholesterol levels, bad cholesterol I'm referring to, are high, how do you bring it down?
All right, thank you very much for joining us with a contribution. Yes.
Okay, so with the cholesterol, the first thing we are thinking about is how is your weight like? If your weight is high, we just have to bring your weight down, especially the composition. You get someone's weight being high, but it's more of muscle. That one you don't have any issue. But if it is fat, we help you to reduce the fat. That is the first thing. But in terms of diet, what we use to control cholesterol is fiber, your timing of meals, and the source of your, in terms of saturated fats and the cholesterol. We get cholesterol from animal products. So the eggs that we mentioned, fish, especially the very good fish, the big ones, where the eggs are, that egg is pregnant with cholesterol.
He bought some yesterday.
And you too. Yeah, we are not the same. We know me any
pregnant eggs in there.
Then we have the offals of meat. So the gizzards, the yamadia, the towels, and all those ones, they increase the visceral fat and also contribute. But now our main issue is not even with the bad cholesterol, it's rather with the triglycerides. The triglycerides, when you do the lipid profile from the total cholesterol, they write triglyceride, and that one we get it from refined carbohydrates. So all the sugars, the drinks, the white rice, white breads, and all those ones contribute to the triglycerides. So if you are to do it, then to control the bad ones, you need to exercise. Exercise will increase your good ones so that they will fight.
So you think that he's satisfied with the answer you're giving?
He should be.
He should be.
He should be.
Okay. This one says, good morning, David. Please, can I get a recording of this great education on diet? It is a great lecture. Okay, so we're all enjoying. We're all learning, aren't we? This one says, David, please ask her, which is the lesser evil between hypertension and diabetes? I asked, Araba last night, but she couldn't give me an answer. Who's Araba, your wife? Okay.
Okay, which one is the lesser evil? Both of them are dangerous. What hypertension will do is, hypertension doesn't bother around food compared to diabetes. For diabetes, before you move, you have to think of what food you are eating, and even your medication are tied with your food. For hypertension, you can get up, take your medication, and you are gone. But what hypertension will do is it doesn't say goodbye. You'll be in town or somewhere, the person is gone. Hypertension can directly lead to heart diseases, stroke, and kidney failure. But the other side, that diabetes, if you are thinking of living long, that one you'll be dying and you'll be rotting away. So if you are to weigh these two, diabetes, and as soon as you get hypertension, you are at higher risk of having diabetes.
They're cousins kind of.
Yes. In fact, they are triplets: cholesterol, diabetes, hypertension. As soon as one comes, it's caused the others to come in. So if you are to think, and diabetes will affect everything, wherever blood flows, diabetes is there.
No wonder when they are given the medication, some of them say they won't take it, especially the men will not take it because it affects erection.
And whether you have hypertension or diabetes, it will affect.
Okay.
But if you are not taking your medication and or you take it and whatever it is goes down, there are ways to go about
even
it.
in terms of what you eat.
There are ways to, and men, I know you talk a lot amongst yourself.
We don't.
You do,
We
because
Leo, we talk about. Okay.
because it's sometimes someone, you realize that as soon as they are giving the medication, they start all the conversations that they've had before. But when the stress goes down, they are still on the medication, but all is well.
Okay.
I know someone who was diagnosed, was put on the medication, started a diet, well, exercise, and he is in his 40s. He says he's performing like he was in his 20s. So I know it's necessary for it, but at the end of the day, if you take your medication, do the diet well, sleep well, and exercise very well, these factors will help.
We'll find time to talk about fruits as well, because fruits are one area most Ghanaians don't go for, and I don't know why it's not expensive as well. And the beautiful thing about fruits is that they're often in season, but people have some reactions of a sort to fruits. So we'll find time and
or some conditions will preferring to, like also you cannot eat orange and all of that.
Orange, acidic ones. You don't take acidic ones.
But Dave, I think one thing that we also fail to ask, between using these natural spices, we have so many of them, and then using the artificial ones, which one is cheaper?
Well, I asked that question.
The natural one is cheaper. It's cheaper in the long and short and medium term, all the terms.
So why are we spending money on the one that is killing us and more expensive?
When people say that eating healthy is expensive, but I always tell them that then try being sick. No matter how expensive my meal is, it can't compare with a diagnosis, which will affect everything concerning you and your family, your stress level, your quality of life, your time and your money. And it's not even curative, it's just managing the condition for you.
Okay. So how would you support a stricter regulation or guidelines, on the use of MSGs, which of course we know have already been banned in Ghana from our markets, and of course the other seasoning in cubes? Do you think that when it comes to the Maggi cubes and the other cubes and the MSGs, we should have a bit of more stricter regulations, even from schools that are cooking for our children and the like? And that's why Leo was asking the question about sauce being taken away from tables at the chop bars and all that. You support a stricter
I believe it should start from the public agencies. So at first, I know in terms of hygiene, we have the town council coming around to see whether things have been done. I think we should have an office where we are looking at what the populace is really eating and making sure that they are abiding by protocol that the nation wants to follow. Elsewhere, I know I read in Israel, a particular, maybe I should mention, there's a chain, a franchise here in Ghana. It starts with K, but they are there, but their menu in Israel is different from anywhere in the world, because they ask them that if you want to be here, this is what we want for our population. Okay. So the menu, no matter what you are preparing, there should be some healthy options for those who will come in. So I think as a nation, based on the value that we place on our health, we should think of preventive health than waiting for people to be sick, and put in all these measures. In terms of MSG, we will keep pushing. I think Ghana Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, we've pushed that now sugar sweetened beverages are taxed more, thinking that it will help reduce consumption. We will do our best, but I think individually, even if the ministries have not done their bits, we have to put in measures to preserve ourselves.
Do you have concerns that some of our foods are becoming, for want of a better word, extinct?
Yes.
Because some of the foods that we grew up knowing, we don't cook them anymore. Are you worried that we're losing such foods?
It's sad. It's sad. And most of us too, we associate most of these foods as being poor because we were poor and we couldn't afford a crassy. Yes. So food like apapransa, for instance, I came to Kumasi and they say it's abe fuedriani. But when you prepare apapransa at a party, it's the first to go.
Oh, is that so?
Yes, it's the first to go. Because with the abenkwine that you said your mom cooked, and most of the time we eat it when it's the last bit, then we put the corn, yes, the corn flour in it and prepare the apapransa. So I think as individuals, and now there's YouTube, people are doing a lot of recipes online. We have to try it out and teach our kids. In fact, that's where my main issue
Leo said he went for a function and kids were also available. Kids, I think, were they from abroad? When they saw a president, they were like, what is it?
Yeah. No, like the Ghanaian kids, like regular Ghanaian boys. But then the professor came and they were skeptical. It is saying, we question, but you know, but I was asking them, if somebody had opened the box of pizza and none of you had eaten it before, would you ask these questions before you taste it? Because, you know, the perception was like, you know.
All right, so at this point in time, I'd like to say a very big thank you to you, Mrs. Ifwa Owuswansa. She's a principal dietitian at CATH and also the CEO of Enjoy Your Health Consult and Melko Shin Foods. Like I said a while ago, just search, Google and search for Melko Shin Foods, and you see the kind of foods that she prepares. Very healthy meals. Well, thanks very much.
Welcome.
We've learned so much. I'm happy that our listeners have sent messages and said that they even want recordings of it. Kofi Mason says, well, good education. It is true. What you eat is what you are. If you eat right,
my variety, plenty this thing. Yeah,
if you're mindful of what you eat, you stay healthy, you'll live long. If you're not mindful of what you eat, you will not stay long, neither will you stay healthy. Everything that would enable you to live a very good life is in what we have here in Ghana, from the herbs to the ingredients that everything we need is here. We are allowing Galamsey to disrupt part of it. We are allowing some of them to go extinct. I'm even looking for what do you call that thing, akoko mesa, to grow in my home. New people will be able to remember be able to grow. You understand? The other things that other people have also come to know now they're using. I mentioned about the cloves where they're using to wash their faces, aloe vera that people are using to do so many things. If we'll be joining us again, maybe by Friday, but there are so many things that we have, natural things we have on hand that if we use well will help us. So thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
Any advert, so where can we find your place?
So Melkoshen and Enjoy Your Health Consult is close to Micklin Hotel Denyame.
Okay.
Is adjacent to New Orleans, where they call Old Ladies.
New Orleans, does it still exist?
Yes,
it's still there.
It's still there. Okay. So we are in the same building with Jerusalem in Ghana.
Okay.
And
if somebody wants to engage with you, would you mind giving your telephone number on behalf
of it's 0244 489810.
At the 18 of shower now. So 0244
489810.
So just talk to her and you'll be glad. I mean, how? What the friend? No, wow, why? This has been another edition of Love in the Morning. We have an interview coming up your way. It's going to be with the Kumasi KSTU. KSTU will be joining us for a conversation. And in fact, KSTU is celebrating their 70th anniversary this weekend on the 28th. I'll be there myself to MC. But hey, they'll be joining us for a conversation shortly. Please stay tuned.